The 2018 Winter Olympics will begin in 1 month from today in Pyeongchang, South Korea. But no athletes from Russia will participate. They will be banned following an explosive confession from one former Russian official who revealed a systematic state-run doping program. The man spoke with our guest, Bryan Fogel, for his documentary, Icarus. Take a look. It's really amazing.
Does Russia have a systematic statewide doping system in place to cheat the Olympics?
Yes.
Were you the mastermind of a statewide system that cheated the Olympics?
Of course. Yes.
Russia won a total of 73 medals in the 2008 Beijing Olympics. How many of those athletes were dirty?
30.
Russia, was Putin aware of the existence of a Russian doping system?
Yes.
Icarus is the name, and everyone who knows the fable of Icarus, you don't fly close to the sun or your wings melt. It's kind of amazing. Morning, Bryan Fogel.
Thanks for having me.
I mean, it's a riveting documentary. I'm going to start from the beginning. How did this come about? Well, this documentary set out to be something completely different. So start from the beginning.
Well, the long story short is when Lance Armstrong confessed in 2013, despite his confession, he had managed to evade 500 anti-doping controls clean, and the only way that they actually got him was through a criminal investigation where his teammates rat him out, who did the same thing as he did, in exchange for their own immunity. And so I'm going to myself, what is wrong with this system that has failed to catch the most tested athlete on planet Earth, rather than what is wrong with Lance, who is essentially being blamed for this massive conspiracy when, in my opinion, everyone else was doing it and the system had failed.
So what you decided to do was, you are a racer, you're a bike racer, and you decided to take on this and dope yourself and see if you could get caught for a race that you're going to participate in, correct?
Right. Cycling's always been a passion for me. The filmmaking's come first, but I like cycling, and I thought that the best way to show the inadequacies of the system was to race clean and then essentially dope myself through a protocol like Lance and see if I could evade detection also. And the assumption was if I could evade detection, then what did that mean for all sports, not just cycling,
Sure.
but across, you know, every
Baseball,
athlete on the planet.
anything.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So where did this take a different direction? At what point did you meet Dr. Rodchenkov? How did you meet him, and how did this come about?
Well, I meet Dr. Rodchenkov. At the time, he is running Russia's anti-doping laboratory. So that means that he's overseeing the testing for all Russian athletes across all sports.
And he should keep the athletes clean. I mean, meaning, in theory, he should be testing, making sure they're being clean while they participate in sports.
Yes, that's his
theory.
job.
Yes.
Except instead of running the anti-doping lab, he was really running the anti-doping lab.
And how did you meet him? You got set up through a professor here at UCLA, or a different professor?
I got set up through a retired scientist who was also part of the UCLA Olympic Laboratory, Dr. Don Catlin. And I get connected to Gregory in 2014, right after he had done the testing for the Sochi Olympics. And we start corresponding. We meet. I tell him my plan, that essentially I want to make a movie where I'm going to dope myself, but the whole goal is to evade positive detection. And I ask him if he'll help me. And shockingly, he says yes, and agrees to help me dope and evade detection. And that starts me out on what ends up being a 3.5-year journey that leads to exposing the single biggest conspiracy and scandal in sport history.
So you went, because you were doing things via Skype, and then you went to meet him, and you have this dialogue with him, and then the bomb drops. Like, he's been involved in helping, Russian athletes evade, being caught for PEDs, performance-enhancing drugs.
Yeah, essentially. We had been working together for almost about 2 years at that point. And the second year that we were working together, he's under investigation. So while he's under investigation and I'm doping myself, I'm talking to kind of all the people quietly behind the scenes who are investigating him, figuring out kind of what's going on. The investigation comes out. It's alleging that he's the mastermind of this state-sponsored system. And Putin comes out saying that the individuals will be held accountable and punishment will be absolute.
Okay. So basically, we're going to have to wrap this thing. This is a big conversation, but what has happened to him since that? The New York Times dropped a huge article about it before your documentary. They broke the story.
We broke the story.
You broke the story, and New York Times took it to the New
Times.
York Times. And then now he's had to go into witness protection program because of this.
Yeah, we break the story to the New York Times. An investigation ensues, and the film comes out. The Olympics don't want to do anything about it, but through his lawyers, the Olympics finally investigate. They take action. They ban Russia from the 2018 Winter Games, and Gregory is in hiding. Putin has asked for his extradition directly to Trump, I am being told, and I don't think he'll be able to ever go out without a target on his back for the rest of his life, which is very concerning, and the cost of telling the truth, especially if you're Russian.
It's very scary. And just today, 42 athletes are trying to appeal, Russian athletes are trying to appeal the decision, and they want him to come testify in person, and he can't because he's under witness protection program. It is a fabulous documentary. Icarus, it is nominated for a BAFTA just this morning, and it's going to have a great run during the award season. Trust me, you want to see it. It is available on Netflix, and great work.
Thank you for having me.
Very riveting.
Thank you.